It's as if the company's primary value is based on FSD, but when we saw the FSD version 12 demo, it had no impact on the stock price. This raises the question of why Wall Street is placing a ratio of 72 on this company if a brand new, state-of-the-art AI-based FSD has no impact on the stock price. As I've been saying, in the short term, we have Tesla, and I'm bullish in the longer term. Then we need to see some more results to get a better idea of how this company can ramp up their EVs currently. Elon has told us that they will increase 50 year over year, but there are no signs of that and no indication as to when 4680s will ramp up as of late, and no one ever bothers asking for specifics. This is kind of frustrating. The EV side of the business, and EVs being the future and replacing gas cars. Then yes, Tesla is far ahead of everyone else. But that's irrelevant if they can't ramp fast enough. With targets still at 20 million units a year by the end of the decade, perhaps that is extreme. But if you do the math, hitting just 5 million units a year should be great for the financials anyway. Basically, there are very few signs of Tesla ramping their EVs, and that's actually where I'm wrong. You might think, since Texas and Berlin have about 600,000 a year more capacity, yes, but an EV is useless without a battery, and that's what we want to see more batteries for. Well, then I'm wrong again. Because Cal has completed a new factory with 80 to 100 gigawatt-hour a year capacity, yes. But these seem to be intended to replace the current LFP batteries. Since the old LFP cells have nowhere else to go, they'll probably wind up in megapacks. In fact, these new LFP cells make it much harder for any other manufacturer to compete using conventional LFP cells, which gives Tesla an additional competitive advantage. 10 times greater energy density and a structural battery pack is a significant increase. But Tesla claims they can build a factory in New Mexico in as little as 7 months. However, they haven't started construction on it yet, maybe because of political unrest in Mexico. The fact is, though, that Tesla is a company full of surprises. We never really know what's going on. It's easy to interpret this negatively if that's the light you want to look at it in, but then it's probably better to take a more common-sense approach. I believe that most investors hoped or expected that Tesla would have broken ground in Mexico by now from when it was first announced. The M3 cells, which Cal has just started selling, appear to be a significant enough advancement to cost down that little bit more and range up that much further, which would thus make all the difference at this stage in the game. Well, at least to Tesla, as they're already in profit now. It's probably smart for Cal to run their new factory first and test the cells and batteries before building the next one, which has been rumored to be partnered with Tesla in Texas. And or possibly also Mexico. We're being given the number of 100 gigawatt-hours a year capacity for this new factory, which is likely enough sales for close to 2 million compacts a year, which could be about the run rate we're hoping from Giga Mexico. And although the cell and battery factory may take longer to build, it as important as the actual run rates. Once the cell and battery factory is built, we would expect the ramping to be fairly quick, at least, when compared to Tesla having to ramp up a totally new production process. iGent's reproduction with the unboxed parallel production line. Therefore, I think Tesla want to get the Giga Mexico factory sorted first and start building that, then lock in the cell and battery factory. I don't know if I should have more faith in this or if my hopes for 4680s were dashed in the past, so it's now affecting my judgment. But either way, it will take time to happen. Just look at how long the Cyberjack has taken. All it would take is a new headline that appears out of nowhere and says, "Cal and Tesla look in a new light." I just like to see the breadcrumbs of how Tesla can get to where it says. There is so much that Tesla withholds from us. And whenever someone gets the chance to ask a question, nobody ever answers partnership to build 100 gigawatt-hour factory in Texas, or something like that. And these things happen. I mean, Tesla need to make more vehicles. The market for Y and 3 is somewhat saturated without having to drop prices that would kill profits, at least in this market, with rates where they are. So Tesla need to launch a new model, and one that is for the mass market that will sell in the millions a year. This is how Tesla grows. Sure, we have the Cybertruck, and there are some people out there who think Tesla might sell 1 million of those a year. But I find that super unlikely. I doubt Texas capacity is even close to that. And I don't think Tesla would make another Cybertruck factory at the opportunity cost of making a compact factory. Why? Because it's not all about getting the most profit per vehicle sold. It's also about getting as many Teslas on the road as possible, because every Tesla is a potential robo-taxi, or at least an FSD subscription down the road. The Cyberchecker is great at the time, but Tesla have a mission, And it's not to deliver the most badass product ever created to as many people as possible, is to transition the world to sustainable energy. This will be done more through smaller EVs, especially when a Cybertruck likely consumes about 3 times the number of cells when compared to a compact Elon says Tesla should keep growing at 50 a year or at least get back to that number well. That's only going to happen by making more EVs, which means they need to make smaller ones that can be made faster, consume less resources. If Tesla can find a new sweet spot here around the $25,000 price point, plus rebates and subsidies, etc., this car will be so low cost, especially without fuel and servicing. In fact, a great deal of the future of the company. Smaller batteries be affordable, and with Gen 3 manufacturing, the Cybertruck doesn't meet that criteria. Depending on how well this car sells and how quickly it can scale up again, the industry, possibly climate change, will determine how many battery facilities in Atlanta ATL wants to build for Tesla outside of China. Other battery manufacturers have the ability to control Tesla's growth because the company lacks vertical integration. In order to accelerate Cybertruck, if Tesla hasn't made enough headway with their in-house sales, Panasonic and Tesla both need Panasonic's 4680 sales. The Cybertruck will be produced in small enough quantities for Tesla to source enough energy-dense cells to ramp that vehicle without needing to ramp up production of their 4680s. At the same time, Tesla is making all the necessary steps to scale up to the desired level and lower the cost of batteries sold, making EVs more accessible. It appears that the problem with dry battery electrode processors still needs to be resolved. Once this is done, all systems should be operational and the process easily repeated. There will be 100 jive hours of 4680s produced in Texas and another 100 jive hours in Nevada. Hopefully, Tesla can replicate the 4680 manufacturing quickly and easily enough to see the kind of ramp we desire. Each year, it becomes more difficult to achieve 50 growth, which is 50% more than it was the year before without 4680s. The Tesla cell, the supply will be determined by CTL and Tesla's involvement with companies like Panasonic or LG, who produce such modest amounts. The most important factor for next year will probably be FSD progress and looking to see if it becomes safer than a human. Potentially, we will have a training computer to facilitate that soon. And apparently the new 10,000 E100 cluster is about 5 to 10 times faster than the previous one. Tesla has outgrown what they can offer for the members that Tesla need to see any significant growth. Because of this, Vortex eddies are so important. A 100, this is a big deal, because it means that Tesla can train at a much faster pace, perhaps in just a day instead of a week. And the market won't care as much about the 4680 run rate if the company sells FSD next year, or can demonstrate a very credible path to solving the problem in the next few years. In fact, the market doesn't value Tesla correctly very often, which is something I've learned. For example, if you genuinely believe that version 12 FSD is an absolute game changer, then you should buy more Tesla shares because the market didn't seem quantifiable to me. However, if I saw Tesla ramp up Vortex any sales to 50 gig or hours a year and was hitting the same energy density as 2170 sales without even our involvement, sadly, Elon's report of possible improvement is insufficient. But who knows? Maybe this time, FSD will actually be resolved by the next year. Thank you for listening, and please remember to subscribe and give it a thumbs up.